Welcome to Thunder Bay Live. We're at the Renaissance Cafe. I'm here today with Heather Dickson. Heather, first of all, welcome.
Thank you.
Heather has written 7 books. She's on her latest book.
Yes, I am.
And Heather, first of all, I'm shocked because usually I know most writers. And for someone to write 7 books, I think that's amazing.
Thank you.
And congratulations on your latest one,
Yes.
which we'll be talking about. But before we go there,
Yes.
how did you get involved in writing? What inspired you?
I have always written. Even when I was a little child, I was always writing kids' stories with hamsters and all that. When I was in university, I penciled for DC Comics, you know, the guys that do Superman and Batman. So I was a penciler. So I had an idea for a graphic novel, and it was called To Journey in the Year of the Tiger. And so I was going to pencil it, but I was going to write it as well. So it became so big that I decided I was going to leave the pencils and just work on the story, concentrate on the story. And then the story became a novel, and that's what you are holding right now. That's my very first book. It was supposed to be a graphic novel, but it was just too big, so it's a novel.
So Heather, I got the book here, obviously, the people are looking at it. It's fantastic. It looks very enticing.
Yes.
How did you come up with these characters in this storyline? This is like a fantasy novel, right?
Yes, it's science fiction fantasy. I'm a zoologist. I went to the University of Guelph and studied zoology. I love animals, and I was always fascinated with genetics and genetic engineering. And so, knowing that I know the predators, that's my specialty. So it just was, you know, comic books, sci-fi fantasy, zoology, ta-da, anthropomorphic, genetically engineered people. So it sort of came out of there.
Well, I know that writers have to be dedicated. They have to sit down at the desk usually and write 8 hours a day. You actually have a job.
I have a day job.
You have a day job,
I know.
which takes up most of your time. And then you have to write at nighttime.
Yes.
That requires incredible discipline.
Yes.
Can you tell me a little bit about your regular day, just a quick, overall day, and how you actually get to approach this?
Yeah, well, I also have 3 children too, so so it's a busy day. So getting the kids to school, and now most of them are in college, and so that's fine. But still getting my youngest off to school, and then working in the studio with Alan. I'm a Photoshop girl, so that's the cover. I did the cover.
Dickson?
Alan Dickson Photography,
Okay.
little plug. So I did the cover. In Photoshop, so I do all the covers, I do all the albums and everything like that at the studio, and do all the Photoshop. And so then, I work, and then at night I kind of carve out my time. I grab a glass of wine, sit by the fire, and I write my brains out. And then when you lay your head down on the pillow at night, you think, and you think, and you plot, and you imagine, and that's the richest time of the day for me, is when you're thinking at night.
Do you ever sleep?
A little bit.
I was going to say. So, 7 books.
Yes. There's 4 in this series that are currently available on Amazon and at Chapters Indigo. There is a new series, a steampunk gothic thriller that's coming out through a Canadian publisher in April. This April we'll have a big launch at, hopefully, Excuria, and at Chapters then, that's in April. That's called Cold Stone and Ivy. And so there's 3 books actually in that series. And then I've got another one that I've just finished up that's on submission to 2 publishers in the UK.
Wow.
So, yeah, busy.
I don't know how you do it,
I
that's
don't
for
know.
sure.
I don't
Now,
know.
if I'm interested in getting one of your books,
Yes.
where would I get the book?
Yeah, well, Chapters Indigo, because I'm pumping Chapters, go Chapters. I'm very excited to be in there. And also Amazon, amazon.com, amazon.ca. You can Google any of the names. My pen name is H. Leighton Dickson.
I was going to get to that
Yes.
because I was looking at the cover here.
Yes.
So H. Leighton
Yeah,
Dickson.
that's right. Because there is already a sci-fi fantasy author named Heather Dickson. She spells it with an X.
Right.
But I didn't want any confusion. I didn't want someone to buy my book and go, oh my goodness, it's not her. So I use my middle name.
And is there any advice you want to give to people out there about writing, or motivation, or dedication? Is there anything you want to say to people out there that got you over the hump, or got you to focus?
2 things probably. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Listen to your inner voice, because that's really important. That's your compass. That's where you need to follow that inner voice, because that's your voice as a writer. All writers have a voice. That's your voice. Listen to it and write that. And then don't be afraid to talk to others. Like community, the writing community is so rich in Thunder Bay. It really is. And everybody just wants to help each other. And that was really exciting
I'm glad you brought that up. There is an organization
Yes,
in town. Do you
yeah.
want to tell the people out there
Yeah.
what that is?
Well, there's two.
Okay.
There's now Northwestern Ontario Writers Workshop. They run workshops. They run. They have readings. They have speakers come in. It's a very exciting group to be a part of, and they really want to foster writing in the community. There's also I had mentioned earlier the Laughing Fox Writers. They're a little more. Casual. They're like, go for coffee. Everybody's going for coffee. They're talking about where they're at with their manuscript or their poem or their career or writer's block or how do you get to the end, like just that sort of nitty-gritty one-on-one over coffee. So both of those organizations are super helpful.
Well, that's fantastic. I mean, that's very inspiring, especially for someone who's trying to write, and then there's other people to help lift
Yeah,
you and push you.
absolutely. Yes, and you can take advantage of, and not in a bad way, but of people's experience. Like when it's resource sharing. Oh, I did this and I tried that. It didn't work. What about this? That's fantastic. Try that. You know, that it's very helpful to actually talk to writers who are maybe just a little bit farther on in the journey.
Well, it'd be inspirational, that's for
It
sure.
is. It really is. Yeah.
Heather, I want to thank you for being here today on
You're
Thunder Bay
welcome.
Live. Chapters and
Chapters in Amazon.
and Amazon
Yes.
have her book. Look for Heather Leighton Dickson.
That's right.
So you don't confuse anybody else. Congratulations,
Thank
and we
you.
look forward to your launch.
Thank you. Yes,
and
in April,
we'll
yes.
probably look forward to having you back on the show and talking about other facets of writing. It'd be great
Fantastic.
for people out there.
That'd be fantastic. I'd love that.
Great, thank you,
Okay.
Heather, very
Thanks,
much.
Aldo. Thank you.
Thunder Bay Live at the Renaissance Cafe. Drop by, and if you have a story, contact us at info@thunderbaylive.com. Take care.